that's just 30 seconds left. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, their best lap time so far is at 1 minute 04.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Norris, Baxter and George Russell. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Baxter completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Sainz, Liam Lawson, Verstappen, Hamilton, Ocon, Bottas, Gasly, Albon, Stroll, Leclerc, Doohan, Teo Porcher, Joe, Drugovich, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Sargent, and Nick de Vries rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Okay, we've got that relief of having points on the board finally, so let's keep that form up and get another top 10 finish today, please. Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 1.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs. They're in 9th place. work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Old softs. They're in 10th place. Time last lap was a 1:05.8. Okay, that's us with 5 laps of fuel remaining. 5 laps of fuel left. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Yes, great drive, great drive. Everyone here is really happy with that performance. Well done, mate.
Baxter increases their championship lead. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. Well, that wraps up sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. It's race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. We are just a few moments away from lights out, and our drivers thinking about navigating the Niki Lauda curve, as it was renamed in 2019, in memory of one of Formula One's most beloved figures. 700 metres above sea level, 10 corners, and one of the shortest laps of the season. 2.6 miles, with some good overtaking opportunities, but you've got to get the braking right into turn 1 and turn 3. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Baxter lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Sainz, Ocon, Norris, Liam Lawson, Hamilton, Russell, Stroll, Bottas, Joe, Doohan, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Drugovich, Magnussen, De Vries, Albon, Teo Porcher, and Logan Sargent. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. Let's talk about Baxter. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
They've been avoiding mistakes and have had solid pace, so it's been a good season so far, but whether they can keep that up long-term remains to be seen.
Superb parking there, mate. Let's make sure we get the edge on the surrounding drivers as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Tell me, Anne, How do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think we'll chalk this one up to a deft touch on the brake pedal. That's allowed them to challenge down the inside into the braking zones, and ultimately, if you do that often enough, you end up winning the race. It was great to watch as well, though, wasn't it? Forget strategy, forget tyre management. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned scrap?
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory for Mercedes. So let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race for our championship leader. So let's discuss, Ant. Who would you say is a contender for your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile,